Hey y'all, what's up? It's Joanna Leaves and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a downsizing video. So in today's video, I'm going to be downsizing roughly 18 plants. The reason for this isn't because I'm overwhelmed, but more so because I really am trying to curate my collection to be plants that make me excited, bring me joy, etc. I've said many a time on this very channel that I only want to keep plants that make me excited. I don't want to keep plants that I'm not excited about, and I also want to make sure that this hobby feels enjoyable for me. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 18 plants and then kind of just talk through why I want to downsize them, what is making me decide that I don't necessarily want these specific plants in my collection. I did walk through my collection and just kind of like, Marie Kondo, does it bring me joy? Is that Marie Kondo? Yeah, I think so. I just went through, does it bring me joy? I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, even my baby right here, she almost got gone, but I decided to keep her because of the ambiance that she brings, and I do like her. And I think that if I just reorient to keeping her as a bush versus as like a huge climber, it will make me much happier. So that's kind of what I've resigned. But with the rest of these plants, I've decided that I want to get rid of them from my collection, and with the rest of these plants, I've decided I want to get rid of them from my collection. I am not throwing these plants out. However, they will eventually, likely by the end of the year, no longer be in my home. Okay, so with that being said, I have all the plants in like 2 different bins because essentially when I walked through my house, I was like, okay, girl, you got these 2 bins, fill them up. Once they full, then you good. I didn't even put a number. I just said, put as many plants as you can in the bins. If the bins get to a place where you feel good, then that'll be that. Also, as I was going through and thinking about plants that I wanted to downsize, I realized that I was gravitating mostly towards Hoyas that I wanted to downsize. A part of that is because I definitely had a moment where I was just like, gotta have them all. Gotta catch them all with the Hoyas, right? And there are so many Hoyas that you could get caught up very quickly. So I realized now that I've had a lot of them for months, I think the last time I bought a Hoya the last Hoya I bought must have been in like June. Yeah, probably in June. And it's September. That's not that long, but it's long enough for you to see them growing, deal with their care, and kind of determine if you actually like those plants. So that being said, these are plants that are not necessarily unhealthy, but just ones that just don't fit my vibe. I just don't want to keep them, so they have to go. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm actually going to start with the non-Hoyas, and the first one that I'm going to show y'all is this ZZ Raven. Now, when you first get into houseplants or like get serious about collecting, because I will say that I was into plants and had plants in my house, and probably like more plants than others, but I wasn't necessarily into plant collecting per se, right? I think I wouldn't have called myself like a plant collector until earlier this year, probably January-ish of this year. Whereas before, I just like plants. I like the vibe that it brings. I love the idea of having greenery in your house, but I wasn't doing like the absolute most. They were in my house, I was watering them, I Googled their care, and I just treated them the way they wanted to be treated. And I don't even know if it's really the way they want to be treated, but they were surviving and they weren't dying. This plant was one of the first plants I got because everybody else had it and because it looked so cool. I had already had a ZZ plant. In fact, my ZZ plant was one of my first plants. Well, she's no longer with us, unfortunately, but a regular green ZZ plant was one of my first plants, and I got it from my aunt. I don't know what happened to that plant. She was doing good. She grew like 5 new stems and then just literally aborted life. Like I just woke up one day and she was dying. There were no pests, no nothing. Roots were fine. Everything was fine. And she just kept going downhill until she literally died. Like, I tried to save her. That one makes me very sad because I have sentimental value there. But I got into all the ZZs. So I got this. I got the Nova Star. I was looking for every ZZ possible. Y'all, I got a Nova Star. It also gets eventually black. There's no need for me to have these 2. I don't even necessarily, like, I don't even think about this plant, you know? Like, I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, I don't even remember the last time I watered it. And also because ZZ plants don't need to be watered every week, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the things that I like about plant care. Now, that said, I don't like to water plants 6-7 times a week. Even 2 times a week is is a bit much. Only for a select few will I do that. However, when you have to like, when I don't like plants that make me feel scared, and this kind of makes me feel a little bit nervous. I know that everybody says that they can keep a ZZ plant alive forever and ever and a day. After that last one died, I don't know. But that said, this looks too similar to my Nova Star for me to keep it. It's a ZZ Raven, so I'm going to put it into this bin. It'll live in a bin with a grow light on top of it for now as I figure out a new home for it. The next plant that I'm downsizing or sending off to a different home is one that I actually only just recently got. And looking at it on the viewfinder, normally like stuff will make me be like, oh, but this is a good one. I guess it's cute, but it's just really not me. Like, I guess that's the truth of the matter is it's just the most not me plant. And I really do think there was a point like back in May and June, I don't know, I lost my mind a little bit. I definitely was blacking out buying certain things. Was it May and June? No, it was June. It was April and March and April. I was like, whoa, you acquired a lot of plants. I looked around, there were a lot of plants. So May, I said, let me not buy plants. I didn't buy any plants in May. June, lost my mind. I think I got this plant in April. I have no idea why I bought it. Like, I don't know what possessed me. I literally had a staghorn fern, emphasis on had. She is no longer with us either. I realized I'm not a fern girly. The roots stressed me out when I was repotting it. They just look, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, she's been repotted. She's in a happy home. I think I had saw one of those scary looking roots push out. Maybe I didn't. You can't really tell with this one, can you? Because the roots are so dark. I really can't tell. But she's happy. She's pushing out some new leaves. I just don't like her. She doesn't bring me any joy. So she's also gonna go in the bin. And I feel like this is one of the ones too, like when you're early in your plant care, you're just looking at plants that like look cool. It might have just been on sale. Like it might have been something like $10 and I thought to myself, yeah. Let me get it. Or maybe it was on sale. I don't know if it was $10. $10 is a drag. I don't think I got this plant for $10. But even if I did or didn't, I don't know why I did this. Okay, the next one that I'm planning to downsize is this here, Begonia Harmony's Legacy. I'm just realizing I don't need 2 polka dot begonias at all. And this one doesn't seem to, it's not that it's not growing well, I just don't like, it's very light. It's so light that you can see the red peeking through in the front area. I don't know if I like that much. And even in my begonia collection, like she's cute, but even in my collection video that I did, I definitely I made pretty clear that I was like, this don't do nothing for me. And because of that, I said, well, if she doesn't do anything for you, why are you keeping her? Like, why are you keeping her? So I've decided to not keep her. And she's also going to, I'll probably chop her in half just so that she can fit in the bin. And I'll find a new home for her as well. Next non-Hoya, because I only have 2 more non-Hoyas before I just show y'all all the Hoyas I'm downsizing, is this Philodendron Emerald Red. Now I still have this plant in my collection. I have it on a pole. I just don't think that I need to. I took this piece off because it wasn't gonna fit in the pot. And I didn't want to put it in such a large pot because I didn't think it needed that. So I ended up separating this piece as I was attaching like the larger plant to a pole. And then I said to myself, do you need 2 Philodendron Red Emeralds or Emerald Red, or hey, correct name will be on the screen as usual, but do you need 2? You don't. So I decided I'm gonna find a different home for this one to be in, someone to love it. It will be absolutely fine. I'm going to definitely downsize this one out of my collection as well. So the next plant that I'm downsizing, this is similarly to the Philodendron Red Emerald, Emerald Red. I still will have this plant in my collection even after I downsize this one. I cut the top of this plant to propagate it, and I realized that I like the aesthetic of the propagations, and I think I'd be more inclined to see it be bushier from below and grow upward like that. So I figured I might as well just get rid of this here, I guess mother plant or established plant. It's growing, it's definitely growing. However, I just don't want it, and I could just pot the propagations back up with it, but I don't know, something about the way that this one is growing didn't excite me, and I thought that the effort to take it back out, pot it up, and rearrange it, and it's already got such established roots to the point that they're coming out the bottom. I just figured I could let this one go and start my journey with the Syngonium albo over with the cuttings that I have. Let me actually show y'all. So this is the bouquet of cuttings that I have. And I figured I would just start my albo over from here and see how that goes, because really overall the plant overall wasn't exciting me. Like my mojito excites me, this one just wasn't doing it for you, girl. Okay, so those are the 5 plants I'm downsizing that are not Hoyas. The next 13 plants are Hoyas. I want to make clear, I still love a Hoya down, love them, they're the best. I could recommend Hoyas to any grower at any stage. Some, like, even people that just want to keep plants in their house but don't want like too much effort to go into it, I think Hoyas are fantastic. That said, I think I went way too fast with collecting the Hoyas, and I just got way too many in a short period of time. And as I've continued to grow them, I started to realize, like, okay, there are definitely some here that we don't actually like, we don't rock with. And for me, if I am like ignoring your care as a Hoya, considering that I look at them shelves every day, then that just tells me that I don't really want you here, and I would rather just put them in the bins and find different homes for them than to keep them here. Long term, I think that they eventually have to exit stage left. Okay, I'm funny for this one because I literally have this Hoya obscura here, and I literally just said, let me show y'all the Hoyas that I plan to get rid of from my collection. I am gonna keep one cutting of it and see if it sparks that joy and gets me going again. However, the plant it was growing so quickly when I first got it. I mean, I couldn't even believe how much it had grown. But then it just stopped. And I think, this is gonna sound wild, but I think plants that just don't grow in like the spring, summer season too, they lose my interest. Like my interest gets lost when a plant does absolutely nothing. That also could be a reason why I also would say I am definitely not keeping the CZ Black Raven too, because that plant don't do anything, you know? So because of that, she's gotta go. But I am gonna probably take a cutting of it just to reroot it and see if I end up liking it after rerooting it. But this obscura, she's a cute plant. She just stopped growing for me. So I figure if you don't like my house, you don't gotta stay here. And that's really that on that. Okay, this is another Hoya that I'm thinking about taking a cutting of to keep for myself, maybe. There's not that many leaves on it, so that also is kind of like deterring me from taking the cutting to keep. But I might, we'll see. This is a Hoya Perfection. Now I got this plant also in the midst of like you just really want all the Hoyas blackout experience period. I have a Hoya Michelle, so this is a cross between I think a Hoya Michelle and a Noel. Is it Michelle and Noel that this is crossed with? I can't remember, but I'll put the correct crossing on the screen. So with this plant, it's just not doing anything for me. And I also think that I know that this is something that when I bought it, they did say like, oh, it does get sun stressed spots versus like that even coating. I don't know. It's not even the sun stressed spots. I don't think this plant is exciting for me. And I will also say, I find myself like, I won't say, oh girl, you're the best Hoya grower ever. I'm not that, never that. I've barely been doing this. But I do find that a lot of the Hoyas that I enjoy or that do well in my homes tend to take off after a certain period. I have already investigated. This plant has 0 pests, not a flat mite, nothing. It hasn't been long enough for me to even be saying, well, it's definitely flat mites and you're not seeing it. I'm also not seeing them. I've done the zoom in, the big zoom. I've done it all. There's nothing on this plant. It's just not really doing it for me per se. But I do think maybe I might keep a cutting of it and reroot it and see if that sparks some joy in me. And maybe if I take a cutting of it and grow it in lower light where it won't get the sun stress spots, maybe that might do something for me as well. But I definitely don't want to keep this whole plant, and I might not even keep the propagation of it, truth be told. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I do think that this is one that I don't see in a lot of people's collections. And because I am planning to get into like plant swaps and all that fun stuff, maybe I might just take the cutting for like a plant swap or something like that versus to keep in my house. Also, something that I will be doing with the Hoyas is chopping them up into propagations, because I find propagations in bins significantly easier to deal with than keeping all of these plants in soil and having to care for them for like a long time. I can essentially put them in the bins and then check on them like every 2 weeks or so. Okay, this next Hoya is the Hoya numerarioides. I got this plant because I heard them talking about it on Let's Talk Hoya. I love that podcast and I listen to it when it dropped. I'm locked in. I heard them talk about it on their like podcast, and I feel like I heard Jessie saying that like she was able to grow it. It was easy going, you know, resilient. It's not even that I don't think this plant is resilient. It's that I realize I don't even really like it. I hardly like small leaf Hoyas. That said, I have maybe 2. I lied. I have 3 small leaf Hoyas. I have a Hoya Matilde, I have a Hoya Lacanosa Mint, and then the Hushkeliana. I literally don't want any more small leaf Hoyas. I don't necessarily like this one all that much. So this is one that also has to exit stage left. I also think that like it gets dry really fast. And I'm wondering for this plant specifically, I think I have to restart a bunch of cuttings into different cups just to start different like plants with obviously with multiple stems. The reason for that though is that it's like not like some of the leaves are hydrating, some of them aren't, which indicates to me it might have some kind of stem rot. So before I pass it on to the next person, I do just want to make sure that it's in a healthy space first. Next up on the Hoyas that are leaving my house train, I contemplated this Hoya. This is the Rosita. I contemplated getting rid of this girl so many times, but y'all can literally see there is no way you're looking at this screen right now and you can't understand why I would want to get rid of it. Now I know some people would be like, I would just restart it, take some cuttings and start again since it's so leggy. Maybe I'll keep a cutting for myself. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. This also kind of fits into that small leaf Hoya vibe. And I don't know if I'm looking for many more trailers. So something that I might very well do is to chop this one all the way back down to this node here, right? I think then this plant will continue to grow and get long, etc. And then the rest of the plant, I'll just reroot in, like I'll chop it up and reroot it in a separate cup, and I'll find homes or a home bundle deal, whatever, for somebody. It'll go somewhere. Someone will want it, you know? And that's really that. This one next up. So this is a funny story. I've done downsizing off camera as well. I regularly go through my collection, and when I look at plants and I get like give me that feeling, I just get rid of it. Now this plant, I am always regularly, every single time considering, do I want to keep it or do I want to get rid of it? Do I want it or don't I want it? And I said, girl, if you have to consider every time and try to explain to yourself why you want to keep the plant, then maybe you don't want to keep the plant. So this one is also going to find another home. I feel like I'm literally know that I'm keeping the plant just because of this little leaf section here, but it ain't grown in so long, and I just can't. So what I'm going to do is definitely give this one like a few sulfur treatments just in case. I don't think that it has any pests because I just don't. But I'll give it a few sulfur treatments just in case. And then I'm gonna just let her go to somebody. Somebody could have her. I don't know. Okay, this one falls into the camp of duplicates. So I took a cutting of this sunrise. I took a cutting of my sunrise and grew it out here. It has already put out since I cut it has put out 4 leaves. She's still actively growing. She's doing well, doing swell, but I realize I have a giant sunrise. I would not be potting it back up with the sunrise. There's no need for me to keep this. Somebody else in the neighborhood, in the community somewhere would probably love a little Hoya sunrise. So I figured this one can also leave my home. And also putting it into a bin will also reduce the effort that I have to put in because I wouldn't have to water it quite as frequently. Okay, next up in terms of duplicates is this Hoya javanica. Well, these leca balls be falling out. Is the Hoya javanica multiflora tie splash, multiflora javanica tie splash, something. Hey, baby, it's a long name. Now, I have an offset. Do you call it that when it comes to Hoyas? What's it? I don't think it's an offset. They had a small other plant, or maybe they had another prop growing in the same thing when I got it. It was very, very tiny. That one is doing very well. This one is also doing okay. It has grown since since tragedy struck. I think these 3 leaves are the leaves it's grown since tragedy struck. I just figured I don't need to. It's heavily rooted, and I thought to myself, girl, let this plant go on to somebody who, you know, wants one, because you don't need to. All right, the next plant that I'm intending to get rid of is this Hoya Nicholsoniae. Now, I am still contemplating, and I'll determine in the future, and by the future I mean literally in 30 minutes when I start chopping all of these up, I'll determine if I want to keep a cutting of this or not. I'm not sure, but this plant, I just the growth pattern, I want my trellis back. It's on a good trellis. This plant does not excite me. When I got it, I didn't know that it's sun stressed, so I thought that all of the leaves were just going to be green, and I guess my light must be pretty bright in here wherever I place Hoyas, and because of that, it either has like the rim. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. So actually, I guess in that case, should I even keep a cutting? Maybe I'll keep a cutting. Maybe I don't know, but I know that this one is going to go. I'm gonna chop this one up and make its way, help it make its way out of here. And it's roots well too. It's not even like a difficult plant to root or care for. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And I feel like that's enough of a reason. To be really honest, that's enough of a reason. But it's just not what I thought it would be, and I don't need to keep it. Okay, this next one falls into the camp of duplicates, big duplicate. Now, this one is a Hoya Michelle. I still will have a Hoya Michelle. When I ordered this plant, it arrived, and as you can see, or maybe not see, it just arrived a little bit dinged up. It was much longer, much bigger, but all those leaves like all fell off, and like the box was, it was a mess. So this one, I'm definitely going to chop it because I think the internodal spacing is just not great. And if I chop it up and like put it in a bin, when it starts growing, it'll grow with much better internodal spacing as well for it to look pretty. And once it gets to that place, then I'll just find a new home for it to go to as well. But I don't need to keep any of this because I have another one that looks a lot better and is doing a lot better. This one is also actively growing, so it's not even doing poorly. Here's the growth tip. It's not even doing poorly. It's just, I just don't want it. Okay, I also realized that I had a couple of plants from Steve's Leaves in here that I didn't necessarily want. And it's not even, it has nothing to do with them. I'm just realizing that I initially got these plants from Steve's Leaves. The Nicholsoniae is one that I got from them as well. So this is a reverted Hoya, like some kind of carnosa that was allegedly splashy and now reverted, which I don't know. I don't think that this fits my aesthetic and my vibe. Even look, like this internodal spacing right here is crazy. I don't even think I would sell it with this like thick, like wide internodal spacing. This like even down below, like the spacing is just so, it's way too much. Like, baby, stop growing the leaves so far apart from each other. It's not a good look. It's not a good vibe. So because of that, I don't want to keep it. Like, look how much stem. I'm thinking about chopping it. We'll see. We really will see. There are peduncles on this too, so whoever I end up like giving it to, I'm sure you'll be able to make it bloom because it already has peduncles. So there's that. Yeah, I just don't, this one just doesn't make me excited. Okay, this next one, this is my Hoya Polyneura. I got this from Gabriella Plants. I am going to take a cutting of this one. I think I need to try again, take it all the way from the top, see if I like it, and then let the rest of the plant go off to somebody else. I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, babe, do you like, is this like, what are we doing? Is how I be feeling when I'm looking at this plant. So because of that, I'm not sure I want to keep it. So I'm like very likely to keep like one small cutting, see if I enjoy it. If as it's rerooting, it grows to be something sensational, I'll keep it. But the majority of this plant, I will be rehoming. Next up, I have this Hoya Ficii. She's definitely giving sun bleach. It's because of my grow shelves. I have mentioned in other videos, and I'm just gonna say it again. I think that the plants that go on those shelves need to be ones that can take really bright light and or sun stress, because those lights seem to be really bright. I also probably should cut back a little bit on the light that I give them, maybe. Yeah, after I just looked, I don't think so. I think some plants just need lower light. And this Phoetii, I just realized that I don't actually necessarily like the plant overall. When I see other people show the Phoetii, I'm just like, and meanwhile, I have one in my house. So I'm definitely going to chop this piece right here because it's just so leggy. Like chop the 2 leggy pieces back, let the plant reshoot, get rid of the base cup, and then give props away or put them in a bin for any swaps. And last but certainly not least is my Hoya species Vietnam. I got this plant from UPT, Unsolicited Plant Talks, and I got this alongside the Ko Chang's Island at the same time. And this was one of the first times, I have said this so many times, when I opened the box up and took the plants out, I said I get what people are saying when they be like, all these Hoyas be looking the same. This and my Ko Chang's Island, matter of fact, let me pull it up. This is my Ko Chang's Island. Now I know maybe y'all gonna be like, girl, you're dragging it. They don't. No, y'all not. These plants look so similar. And I said to myself, self, what have you done? You know, I bought these at the same time. Y'all, now I just noticed a peduncle coming out on the Ko Chang Island. See, I chose to keep the right one. So this one, because it's not, I wouldn't say it's rare, it's just less accessible or like less easily available, I will probably chop this one up into like single node cuttings and root them so that I can share them with more than just one person. I know somebody would love a big plant, but if I give this away, I would have to sell this because, like I said, I bought this from UPT, y'all. That's big, you know what I mean? So I'd feel better about sharing the love across the board or, you know, something, I don't know. But that said, she's not gonna stay in my house because she looks way too similar. I'm sure the blooms might be different, and maybe I'll cut off the stem and keep this like base part and see if it regrows, and maybe there is something to it. I don't know, but I just don't know why I have 2 plants that look almost identical to one another. That said, sisters gotta go, and you know, yeah, it was real while it lasted. All right, y'all, thanks so much for stopping by, watching this video, and listening to me talk about plants that I intend to get rid of. I will see y'all in the next one. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye.